And as you see there, our next climate story is a story about local action, and it is a great pleasure to welcome to the stage the governor of the state of Lower Austria. And in fact, many experts, including Arnold Schwarzenegger, believe that it's absolutely at the state and local level that we can make most progress in fighting climate change. So I am going to switch to German, and let me start out by asking you this. Arnold Schwarzenegger betont, wie gesagt, immer wieder den besonderen Einfluss von Ländern und Regionen. Und das Land Niederösterreich hat beim Klimaschutz schon lange eine Vorreiterrolle. So meine Frage wäre, welche Maßnahmen Sie jetzt nehmen, um diese Vorreiterrolle zu behalten und darauf weiterzubauen.
Vielen herzlichen Dank. Ich glaube, Arnold Schwarzenegger hat zu 100% recht, und er zeigt es ja auch
right, and he's also a great role model with his region California, and we do it on a smaller scale in our region of Lower Austria. What unites us is a common thought. We need to counteract this trend, and we need to fight climate change through concrete measures. Otherwise, things are going to collapse, and there will be hundreds of millions of deaths. More people will be dying if we fail to act than have died through the pandemic. And we are hoping for a vaccination, a vaccine for the pandemic. But as Arnold Schwarzenegger said, there will never be a vaccine against climate change. There is only one drug that we can use, namely action. And we are leading in the area of climate protection in Lower Austria. Lower Austria is the only region in the entire European Union without nuclear power, without coal-fired power plants, and we cover 100% of our energy from renewables. And Arnold Schwarzenegger is right in what he said, just like all the previous speakers, that the communities and municipalities play an important role. And this is why we are also part of the Climate Alliance. And here too, we are leading in Europe. And ecological building, this is why we have Clemens Heilmann here. Ecological building is something that goes without saying, on a large scale as well as on a small scale. Thinking about the large-scale projects, public buildings. For example, we have a prison in Korneuburg, which is one of the biggest passive houses. And we also have museums, etc. So we are not leaning back and resting on our laurels. We know that there's a lot that remains to be done. So what are we going to do in future? In future, we're going to make sure that we're going to expand our PV installed base by a factor of 10 and focus more on e-mobility, where we are already in a leading position. And together with the Federal Ministry of Transport, we are going to continue to expand public transport. We want to also expand the offer of buses and railways by 35%. So a lot of decisions have already been taken, and we are aware of the fact that any decision that we will take in future, whether it's a political, economic decision or a private decision, all these decisions have to be characterized by the idea of sustainability. That starts when we go shopping in the supermarket, where whenever we take something off the shelves, we take a political decision, a decision for a regional product, a local product, or a product that comes from the other end of the world. We need to decide on how we want to live and where we're going on vacation and how do we get there. There's a difference whether you fly on vacation once a year or 5 times a year. So I think that it is up to us how we want to deal with Mother Earth, whether we want to continue to hurt Mother Earth or whether we prefer a more sensitive approach and save Mother Earth. I'm more for the latter approach, and this is why, together with our region of Lower Austria, we're going to keep on being a pioneer and a role model in order to motivate other regions as well, because everybody can be part of the solution. That's what we're planning to do for the future. Thank you, Ms. Mikl-Leitner. And I'm very pleased to welcome Clemens Hallmann again. He's the CEO of the Hallmann Group, and you're also again a partner and sponsor of the Austrian World Summit. So I'm very pleased to have you back. You're also the head of a large and very successful real estate company. And I think we've heard it before, the construction industry and sector of buildings accounts for 8% of global CO2 emissions. So there's a lot that needs to be done in this field. What are you doing in your company in order to counteract these trends? What does climate action mean for you in concrete terms? I'm proud to be back as a leading partner of the Austrian World Summit. And first I would like to say a big thank you to my dear friend Arnold Schwarzenegger in Los Angeles, because thanks to his indefatigable efforts for environmental protection, he shows how important it is that every individual contributes his share, because only together can we be strong. In the Hallmann Group, many years ago, we already have committed ourselves to saving resources and to implement environmental protection in our buildings. We have a separate department that provides the best mix of the available technologies for the individual buildings that will be analyzed in order to derive the maximum benefit in terms of reducing the strain on resources and to still build affordable housing. Our creed is that we want to offer affordable housing while saving resources and protecting the environment. And more than 50% of energy is saved in our buildings, and we have an even more ambitious target. And we are cooperating closely with the city of Vienna. And in the 21st Vienna district, we'll have the first plus energy neighborhood of Vienna. And they will be producing more energy than the buildings will consume without the use of fossil fuels. So this building will also be capable of feeding the excess energy into the public grid, and we use photovoltaics, wind power, concrete core activation, and lots of other means. And we have environmental protection and low resource building has very important targets, because we find it is our duty to hand over this planet to the next generation the way we got it. And this is why we work very hard day after day to achieve this goal. And I would like to appeal to all the politicians and the business people. Make your contribution, no matter how big or how small it is. Only together we are strong, and only if we pull in the same direction can we protect the environment and our climate. Thank you. Thank you very much for this appeal.
Und danke auch an Sie für Ihre wichtigen
Worte. I would like to
Worte.
thank you for your important words.
Hello, I'm Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti. This has been a season of great difficulty for communities across the globe. And yet for many of us in the climate movement, this time feels all too familiar. Because before so many felt stuck inside their homes, our destructive behavior to our earth was displacing many people from their homes. And before we wondered when life would return to normal, we knew that normal could not stand. That's why it isn't enough to just defeat this virus, to respond only to the urgent demands of today. We need to go farther and reimagine what our world can and must look like tomorrow. Here in Los Angeles, we've set in motion a Green New Deal, which puts us on course to be carbon neutral no later than 2050. And as chair of C40 Cities, I'm working alongside the world's mayors to equip our cities with the tools, knowledge, will, and strategy to power our recovery, protect our health, preserve our environment, and get our people back to work, to continue leading the way towards a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous future. That's what we can do when we're working together. And thank you to my friend, Governor Schwarzenegger, for your leadership here in your backyard and around the world. Now, let's get to work.